Hi guys, me again. Um, it's Andrew Markowitz. I took so long to make a video today. One, because I had a very busy day, even for a day off. I had to go see my pastor and have a conversation with him, and then I had to do a bunch of other stuff. So just took forever. And then when I got home, I couldn't really find until now any video to react to that was interesting um, until now. Um, which I'm just going to say it right now. I disagree with this statement on the premise of there is a big difference between me and Tim, and this is why I am Christian, especially with what I deal with, and why I refuse to move from that position. Um, so, with that in mind, as much as I enjoy watching Tim Pool and I love listening with him, on this I've been heavily disagreeing with him on, and I've been disagreeing even with Steven Crowder on this. I've been disagreeing with several people on this. Obviously, my voice doesn't yet matter. I don't care. I'm gonna say it anyways. I'm gonna say what I have to say. I'm gonna give my opinion, whether people want to hear it or not. Don't care about people not wanting to hear my opinion. I'm gonna give it to you. If you want to listen to it, listen to it. If you don't want to listen to it, well, you're probably gonna hear it anyways, whether you like it or not. Because I don't plan on going away or giving up. Also, side tangent already starting. That's a chainsword back behind him. 40K. Wild. Anyways, let's get into the video and hear, honestly, what it has felt like for a couple of years now with Tim Pool. Woe is me, the right's gonna lose. Woe is me, we're going to civil war. And it's been kind of irritating.
Mike Cernovich. He says Democrats are flipping seats left and right. When Trump isn't on the ballot, low propensity voters stay home. There's no viable Republican Party. It's the Trump Party, and tonight is another reminder of this.
No, the problem is in the fact that what the Democrats have done is they have motivated and radicalized their base enough that they will vote every year, every time it is to vote, to get their people into office to win more. And Republicans, for some reason, have had the problem for the longest time. The switch analysis is so accurate with the Republicans, because a lot of people on the Republican side, as Nick Friedez, not Fuentes, Friedez, I will always specify that, because there's two Nicks on the right side right now. One is an absolute piece of garbage. Other one is a not Minnesota, sorry, wrong state. I was thinking of several things at once. A Virginia House representative, and is a total badass and an awesome dude. You should really watch his content. I'll probably be reacting to some of it soon. And as he says, it's a switch. And the reason why it's a switch is because a lot of the people in the Republican Party are people who simply want to be left alone, but they're fools, because you can want to be left alone your whole life and want nothing to do with people. As long as you live in a country, they are still going to do things to you, whether you like it or not. So either stand up for your right and ability to be left alone, or they will not leave you alone. You have to be vocal about something, or you will have no voice and have nothing. Okay? That is the problem right now. Is there are so many people who don't want to be vocal, who want to just be quiet, want to be left alone, don't want to be bothered by these things, and then not only don't want to be bothered by these things, but then also have gone into this idea and problem of splitting and running away, and splitting and running away. No, 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 no. And I will pull up my Bible right now, and I will give you some names right now, and I will also give you no, that's just going to be names, actually. I think that'll just fill the idea pretty well. Here we go. So, I'm just going to give you some names out of this book real quick that are pretty easy to find. The names are the following: Jesus, Paul, Peter, James, Matthew, Luke, Andrew, Timothy, and then some books to look into: Colossians, Romans, Corinthians, Ephesians. I think Thessalonians, Timothy 1, Timothy 2, John, Philippians, Luke, Mark. You know what was about all those men? They accepted that you couldn't be left alone to your ideas because people will just trample over them unless you speak about them and speak them openly. These men died doing that. And they died violent deaths, but they didn't die committing violence. They died in violence. They did not do the acts. They were taken into custody, taken to prison, and executed violently. And that happened because they were speaking the truth. Whether you want it right now or not, stop walking away quietly. Set on your calendar, hey, it's voting day. I need to go vote. I need to make sure I cast my vote. Because whether you like it or not, others will, and enough will, that your side is losing. The side that wants to be left alone is losing. So you can't just walk away anymore. You can't. Speak proudly and loudly. If they want to be violent heathen mongrels, let them be violent heathen mongrels. We will speak proudly. We will speak loudly. We will speak in the knowledge of truth. And we will vote that way. We don't have to agree and concur with the guy 100%. We don't have to agree and concur with the guy 100%. But that guy that you might only agree with 40 or 30% on is a lot better than the guy you agree with 0% on. I promise you. Right now, you are fools and you are letting the 0% get into office. You are letting the 0% walk all over you. You are letting the people who you disagree with 100%, who you have basically 0% agreement with. If you're Christian, they're atheist or spiritualist in some kind of manner. If you are if you believe in human rights, they believe only in human rights for their side. Like, that is where we're at. And they will bring in the people who they can trick and get to believe to run you into the ground. They will outpopulate you. They will move the nations necessary to outrun you. So either vote or die in silence. Those are your options. Either vote or die in silence. I don't know about you, but I don't want to die in silence. I really don't. I don't plan on it. I don't want to. It's not worth it to me. I don't think that's a good idea. And right now, Tim is saying give up. This guy is saying give up. Why? Why? Do we not have hands in which to toil? Do we not have hands in which to move? Do we not have voices of which to speak from? It's absurd.
That's a scary prospect, because that means Republicans will lose the midterms. Trump will be removed from office, or at least his chance of doing anything will be completely destroyed. And come 2028, Democrats will take over, and then conservatives. I'm going to go with Scott Adams on this one. When he said Republicans will be hunted, the only mistake he made was that he was a few years too early. And everyone made fun of him for this, like, bro, calm down. Then you've had a couple of targeted killings of conservatives. You've had the attacks on Tesla and ICE facilities. I genuinely believe now, with someone like Jay Jones projected to win, Scott Adams was right just a little early. If it is true that...
God, I pray that we don't have to go to bloodshed. God, please don't let this have to go to bloodshed. Please don't lead this nation into bloodshed to be the necessary way in which things have to be fixed. I ask for people to be given the strength necessary and the wisdom necessary not to. Because it's awful.
That people will not vote unless Trump is on the ballot. The Republican Party is fried. Then Trump leaves in 2028. That's it. Mm-hmm. Democrats are going to come in. There's going to be a communist authoritarian takeover. And I mean, communist somewhat lightly. It's not going to be as overt as like the Soviet Union. It'll be more like Chinese Communist Party. And they'll kill...
Yeah, that's not any better.
People. It's I stand by my prediction that by this time next year, we'll be looking at another major assassination of a political figure.
Yeah.
Before the midterms.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, like, a big part of the problem is this, even though we sort of have pushed the Never Trumpers to the bench to some degree, that contingent has remanifested itself. And you have this huge problem in the Beltway of these cocktail party conservatives who just want to like write glossy National Review articles all day instead of actually, because they view winning, they view the means that it would take to win as like beneath them and dirty and gross, and they'd rather be like the principled whatever.
Rather lose honorably.
They're losing honorably is so stupid. If that's your opinion, the people fighting you, the people we are dealing with right now, do not seek honor in their engagements with you. Do not seek honest conversation in their engagements with you. I'm being real. They don't listen to you. They barely hear you. They barely tolerate you. The ideas of which they have developed and twisted themselves into, they are ready and waiting for the orders of persecution. So you have to vote against them. You have to vote against them. Because if you don't, it will be your foolish downfall. And you will be walking into the gates of execution. And you will have knowingly done it as fools. You are... Pacifism and a refusal to engage with your enemy is for fools, is for the foolish. Gandhi wasn't even a pacifist in the manner in which many are taking the steps of pacifism to. Gandhi spoke openly and honestly about his opinions and his beliefs. I disagree heavily with Gandhi on many different things, but nonetheless, he was a better man than most people today, because most people today seem totally content to be quiet pacifists to their own execution of their beliefs and everything that has been built around them. And it's so dumb. Like, you're just willing to walk into the death throes with open arms, and it makes no sense to me.
Honorably. And then there's a huge part of the Republican electorate that thinks along these lines as well, as they view a lot of these actions as like beneath them, and it's like, well, okay, well,
The actions aren't beneath us.
that's not smart. That's not. I can't intellectualize that, so it must be bad. It must be wrong.
I think this is part of what is giving Trump some sense of urgency. He's been calling the past couple days. He's been calling for the filibuster to be ended, which I tend to agree with. I think he understands that we have to ensure that the Democrats do not get in power again. If they do, like you guys said, it's probably open season. I don't think that there's anything these people are not willing to do. And it was a shock to them. You know, we have to remember, we came within like less than an inch of losing our country. If Trump had been, they wanted to do to Trump what
We did. We really did. And no one understands this.
they did to Charlie on live television, and they wanted to make you remember it and to make you scared. And if that had happened, who knows? Thank God that it didn't. But we need to recognize the stakes here, and this is not like some we need to be worried about the midterms, but we also need to be thinking in terms of 10, 20, 30 years from now. If the Democrats do get in power,
Agreed.
It's very scary for our country.
I think it's fascinating because
Mickey Sherrill's projected to have won.
Really?
Yep.
Yep, let's pull
Sadly.
up New Jersey here. This breaking news, Decision Desk has called it for Mickey Sherrill. Jack Ciattarelli has lost nearly 2-1 so far with 26% reporting.
Wow.
Ugh.
that's a blowout.
Well, it looks like
Yeah.
a lot of the states haven't.
Based on this showing, I'm actually I've been saying the whole time I think Mamdani has the edge, but that Cuomo is undervalued. I'm pretty sure Mamdani's going to win this one in New York.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
he's
placed
gonna win.
a full disclosure $400
I already
trade
know he won. It's
on Cuomo to
several
win because
days
it pays
later.
out $5,000 if he does.
Wow.
That's a value bet because Cuomo's odds were not that bad. Internally in New York, according to call sheet data, he's 10% above. So this is interesting. Outside of New York, it's 9-1 Mamdani to win. Inside of New York, it's 49-40 Cuomo's advantage. So that said to me, the people of New York are going to weigh a little bit more heavily. And so I said, okay, I'll make a value bet, but I'm pretty sure Mamdani's going to win this.
Yeah.
It's I think a sad reflection on the Democrat Party. Kind of shows where they're headed.
Yeah.
But that
It's where they've been heading for a long, long time, and it's just been a quiet. This is what I mean by the quiet snake in the basket, people. Again, that video series is going to continue. It's just, I have to be patient. Got to be patient with me because of the stuff that I've been delving into. I've been reading Marx, been reading Hegel, and to say it has disturbed me greatly is an understatement. It has disturbed me horrendously.
they cannot rig an election for a Cuomo in New York City anymore. I think that's kind of shows you the state of affairs of that party. I also think it shows in 2028 they are probably going to double down on this sort of third worldization of America, trying to double down. These people have actually not, we hear all this, well, we need to tone down the rhetoric and everything. They have not necessarily learned anything from the 2024 election. I think what they've learned is that they need to go harder, and they are doing that.
Well, that's the thing, is like with the last two Democrat primaries, you could at best say they put their thumb on the scale to some degree, to a variety of ways. The fact that they didn't
Yeah.
do that in the New York mayoral primary indicates that they view Mamdani's ideology as something viable for the future for their party, and that should scare the living bleep out of you. I mean, that's absolutely
It does.
Yeah, it should absolutely terrify you. If you do not understand Mamdani's principles, go read about it and become fucking scared. Okay? You should be scared of guys like Mamdani. Because they're blind fools who will gladly lead you to destruction. And it's terrifying.
It's the hand eating rice with your hands ideology.
Yeah.
Not good.
I think I said something about this last night, and I think that this is still true. The left still has to figure out how they're going to finance a national campaign on that kind of policy, or those kind of policies. The wealthy donors that have been Democrats, that have reliably been donating to Democrats for the past 15, 20 years, they're not going to want to give money to Mamdani or someone like Mamdani, someone that would put a national wealth tax in place, a tax on whatever your net worth is or whatever annually.
It's a Radio Rwanda thing. It was like a tax the whites policy.
Well, I mean, that is true, but like, I don't think that, even though Mamdani might be able to, or someone like Mamdani obviously can win in a municipal race in New York, but nationwide, that I don't know that they have that they would get the kind of funding necessary. I mentioned this last night. Hillary Clinton spent $1 billion. Barack Obama spent $1 billion.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Joe Biden spent something like $1 billion. Kamala Harris had something around $1 billion. And Kamala Harris went in debt. Like, she ended up being, in debt. I don't see them being able to raise that kind of money if they're not going to be catering to the wealthy Democrats.
It's interesting. Kalshi was wrong. Kalshi prediction was that Miyares was going to win, and he had a decent edge. Even before, at the end of October, he was looking at around a 70% likelihood to win. That's what the prediction market said. And then as it got closer to election day, it dropped to just above 50. And as of today, it completely inverted. So the people who kept their money on Jay Jones, they're getting paid out. It'll be interesting to see what happens with Mamdani. The thing about Mamdani and Cuomo, check this out. Kalshi says someone just put $200,000 on Cuomo to win the New York City mayor election.
Why are we betting on the lives on our future? Why are we playing games of money at a time like this? Like, this agitates me with you, Paul. Why are we talking about money odds and things like that? And just observing this situation. You can't sit by and watch yourself be burned. You have to be vocal. You have to put out your principles, stand for your ideas, and call for your beliefs. And rally those who will come to you. A refusal to do this will be the death of your ideals, will be the death of your morality, will be the death of your laws, will be the death of everything about you. There is no pride in standing for nothing and submitting to everything thrown at you. There is no grace or goodness in doing so. It really upsets me.
A $1.6 million payout. I wonder if the New York establishment is going to let Mamdani win this one. I am talking about the moneyed interests. Wall Street, big finance, they don't want a Mamdani. Cuomo may have lost the primary. Sure, that can happen. I'm wondering if Kalshi is going to be wrong on this one as well.
So I think polling shows Mamdani is a shoo-in, but hot take alert right here. I actually think nationwide that Mamdani getting elected to mayor in New York City will be a benefit to Republicans nationwide to kind of piggyback.
No, I agree too, because we're gonna watch in 2 years as this dude's entire policies burns everything about New York to the ground. New York will not be a functional city of any population to any degree within 2 years, and it definitely won't within 5. Those policies can't be sustained, and Zoran will go through with it. He is a man that I can fully see going through with everything that man has stated. And it will make Detroit look like a joke. Okay? Detroit and what happened there, if you know what happened to Detroit and everything else with the auto industry and all that stuff, it will make that look like a joke. And it's going to get burned into the American populace's memory. But the problem is that we can't just keep winning presidencies and every 2 years slow them down, because they keep going every couple of years and infesting all of your states, gerrymandering all the lines, which all of you hate and don't like. And they will turn every state blue through cutting up districts and cutting everything together and splicing everything apart till your voice is silent and not heard. They did it to California. They did it to Colorado. I literally watched it happen to my state of Colorado. Colorado had voted red for every single year up until, like, Bush. And then it was a purple state for 4 years before it became solidly blue. There are many states with that story. You are going to watch that happen across this country over a slow 20 years if you keep letting them win every single midterm election. The midterms are just as important as the primaries, as the big race, as the big president. They're more important. Your local county and your local guy, your local sheriff, gets to dictate what laws he decides to enforce. That's the most important guy that you should be voting for every single year. That guy matters a whole lot, because he's going to be the difference between a bunch of cops sitting around putting tickets on people's windows for stupid shit and going around and dealing with crime and gangs and all the bad crap that might be happening in your city or town. So those are the elections that actually frickin' matter. Because those will be the ones that differentiate between you getting a hoodlum messing with you and not. You have to build small to make big. You have to build the foundation to build the rest of the house. And for some reason, we keep just building the house and not putting the foundation down. And it's so dumb.
Back on Phil's point, it's because the only place where a person like Mamdani can be elected, it is in New York City, where you have a high concentration of socialists and immigrants.
But their plan is to do this across the entire nation. Their plan, the reason why they opened up the borders, the reason why they let all this off, the reason why our government has been shut down and they're trying to give and let illegals have free health care and all of these things that an American, I promise you, you will never get, is to encourage a population to come here to vote for them, because people seem to forget this. On refugee status, you get a temporary social security card. You get you can obtain an ID in several states. Like, you can be not actually an American citizen nowadays, and in several states obtain an ID and go vote. It's absurd. Like, this is the problem, people. And this is their plan. They don't want America. They just want power and to stay in power. That's the problem I have with them. Their words are platitudes. Their motivation is wicked. Okay?
to have become citizens, and specifically Southeast citizens. So there's a high concentration of that there. There's a high concentration of those immigrants and socialists, people who come all across the country. So
I absolutely hate how much of a nutcase I sound, but I'm telling you it's the truth. So many people aren't going to believe me. So many people are going to call me the wild, cuckoo, crazy man. But, like, read history. Read some damn books, people. Educate yourselves. Stop listening to what a bunch of people tell you to believe and start looking at what you should believe and come to a decision yourself. And take the time to do it. It is worth in your life to take that time. And it's so annoying that people don't take that time. It bothers me so deeply that no one wants to take that time. You think you can just live your ignorant little life and be unaffected by anything. You will eventually be affected. Things are coming crashing down in a manner in which they will affect you. As I told my pastor today, it's so true. So many people are looking at the surface of the pond when the problem lies at the depths of the ocean. The problems that we actually have are ocean deep or at the depths, people. Get it through your skulls. Read, understand, comprehend, learn, grow. Stop giving up and all this stupid crap. Stop rotting your brain and pretending like reality doesn't affect you. It does. It will come for you. It will come crushing down upon you and take away everything from you. And if you think you're in the depths of despair now, you know nothing what it is like when you have nothing. When you don't know where a roof's going to be over your head. When you don't know where your next meal is going to come from. When you don't know anything. When you have been left out of a doorstep with nothing to have. Most immigrants don't even know that because they willingly choose to leave their house, to leave the place they live and go somewhere else. So they at least knew, and they're taking a chance and an opportunity, which is different than being stripped. I can promise you, I speak from experience, I have been stripped bare and left in the field to rot. I have been left on the wayside by society. You don't have to stay there. It's just a long, damn hard crawl back. And you have to be willing to put in the effort to do it. Stop woe is me. Find the strength you need in God, and He will carry you through and bring you where you need to be when you need to be there. God shows His truth in everything. Everything is open and honest when God is there. And a lot of the time right now, people are just completely walking away from Him like a bunch of fucking morons, okay? And people are just walking away from an education, on growing themselves, on learning and understanding, or just flat out refusing to, because on some way or another it bothers them and they don't want to go through the process of having to break themselves down to nothing, on having to dig at the depths of their core, figure out what the hell's going on with themselves, and put emotion, put reason over emotion, put feelings behind them, understand that you do need to, there is only so much good compassion can do. There are limits to compassion, limits to empathy, limits to sympathy, and those kind of things. And you do have to have those limits. And it's just so important to think about these things, people. To read about these things, to understand, to comprehend, to grow in your knowledge, to learn. And so many people just refuse to do it. Young and old. And it will be the downfall of not just our society, but our world. We will burn ourselves apart in ignorance, people. And that is what we are on the process of doing. And we're laughing like idiots the whole time. Like, come on. stop it. You can, and you choose not to. You have a choice, and you choose no. Why? Explain it to me. And explain it to me in a way that doesn't come off as I'm a stupid ignoramus.
Let's come to New York City.
How does that benefit Republicans?
It benefits Republicans because they'll be able to fearmonger on around a person like
You could do
Mamdani.
that with Brandon Johnson.
Not as effectively.
Why
Not
not?
nearly as effectively.
Why?
Because I feel like Mamdani perfectly exemplifies a lot of the things that Republicans fearmonger. A gay, brown, Muslim,
Gay?
a socialist. Well, he looks gay.
Yeah.
I take him for a
He's not gay. He's married. He has a wife. So that's not true.
gay man. But the point is that
Although I will say, the insult has been brought to me before. I'll throw it around. Bro kind of looks like a twink.
the only place where a Democrat like him would be able to win is in New York City. That's why we're seeing like Abigail Spanberger. People would like to call her
hold
extreme,
on. He's
but
not.
she's-
He's not gay. Remember, he had that thing where he was mad because white women didn't like him.
Yeah, I was trading on the gay
No,
race.
no, but this is true. He had that blog where he was like, "White women don't like me because I'm brown."
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not true. White women fetishize brown people.
No,
It's
that's what
disgusting.
drives a lot of these guys is like resentment against white people
So
because they
true.
were rejected in college by
Agreed.
attractive white
I think you are incorrect, good sir. I think that what's going to happen is Mamdani is going to pass the blame. Whatever happens, he's going to say it's Republicans. He's going to find some reason to be like, look at this Republican bill that intentionally sabotaged our plans to help the poor people. And then he's going to go to stupid people and is going to say, explain to me how me offering you health care was the problem.
Because you weren't offering me health care. You were offering me to pay a shit ton of taxes for a mediocre health care plan. When I could have taken that same amount of money I spent in taxes to have a better private health care plan. Sucks when I fucking think about the situation for more than 4 seconds. That's the other thing, an idea that I want to bring into the public square, and I hope I can start spreading around. People need to stop thinking on levels of emotional impulsivity. It is the biggest problem in America, is we are so emotionally impulsive about everything. On both sides are. And it's so dumb.
And then I go, duh, yeah, he's right.
Well, here's the thing. He's definitely going to be put in a position to fail because Trump's going to withhold federal funds. And then also, Kathy
Going,
Hochul
that's
has...
my point.
Well,
he's
he has
going
an
to
excuse.
say, nothing I do is wrong. Trump did it. And he's going to show Trump quotes saying we're withholding funding. And he's going to say our plan would work if we weren't at war with the president.
I think New York City, people who live, New Yorkers will see the city turn to shit and then will blame him. Also, in New York City, mayors always become unpopular within the city confines.
I'm going to push back again. People are fleeing New York already, have been for the past several years, and there's a projection that up to 1 million people may flee if Mamdani wins. What's going to happen then is all the polling is going to spike, it's going to skyrocket for Mamdani because the people who oppose Mamdani will leave, and all that's left will be people too stupid to realize his plans don't work. I was talking with Batya Ungar-Sargon today, and she made a great point. She said, all the things that he promised, he literally has no authority to do. The mayor can't make free buses or make them go faster.
Yeah, I don't know if he actually has any authority to do any of this because I don't know if the government actually runs the bus system unless he's going to start running a government bus system.
It's not a function of the mayor. City council does that. The only thing he'd actually affect is the police department by firing the commissioner. That's it. So he's going to people and he's being like, I'll make your buses free. And if they asked him how, because the mayor can't do that, he'd be like, But that's how stupid these people are.
Things in the city will get worse, and they need to get worse for New Yorkers to realize that change is needed.
We thought that
we're
about...
going to have the pendulum swing with Mamdani,
okay,
and then
I
in
get
2 years down the line, it's going to swing
We've been
back
there,
the other
done
way.
that. Do you not remember the past several years of Chicago? We had Lori Lightfoot.
Yeah.
went to crap, and then they were like, let's make it worse and do Brandon Johnson. And it's...
Yeah, that is going to happen.
only gotten worse in Chicago, and they have.
Sorry, what you're hearing right now is I am also having a conversation with a buddy on Discord right now in the middle of this because he is. I'm just worried about him. I worry about everybody all the time when I know you. Just a habit and a hobby. Either way, Tim's not wrong in that aspect. That, again, the problem is actually in the fact that people are choosing to flee instead of stand their ground, and in doing so, you are just giving ground that doesn't need to be taken. You are fleeing like fools from a battle you can win.
Not change their voting patterns.
I don't think most Americans know who Brandon Johnson even is. Mamdani is a national leftist figure, and he will fail in New York City, and then there will be a pushback against him down the line. There's also one thing...
I think you are insane because you keep touching the fire and going, sooner or later, the fire won't be hot.
Oh, that's good.
New Yorkers need to touch...
Post news, I'm a big Destiny fan. I've got over 5,000 hours in the game. I was, up until probably very recently, top 10% in the world in that game. When it came to stats, and easily in the ballpark of top 20% player in PvP. Definitely when it came to raids, up until the most two recent raids, I was definitely a top player. I could do speed runs. I have a 12-minute run on Deepstone Crypt. Not as impressive as it used to be, but I pulled that off like a year and a half ago. Side tangent, sorry. And I just found out that they've fired the jackass who made horrible comments about Charlie Kirk. If you don't know about that, don't even investigate it. It's not worth your time. The video game industry is trash and garbage. I probably will be making commentary on those crappy people at one point or another, but a bunch of people who are ideologues who don't understand nothing about their ideologies often plague the video game industry. A lot of emotionally impulsive people, I guess, is my new label for them. And I prefer labels of intellectualism rather than labels of what I would like to call absurd characteristics, of which include your disabilities, your race, and your sexual preferences. And just to go into this real quick, because, I don't know, I love having side tangents. This is what I mean by the cultural problem. It is that those are the labels that they use to apply to themselves to then batter and beat you on, to tell you that you're a horrible human being and you're against all of those labels that they apply to themselves. So they create a hammer of labels and they come bashing down on you with them. That's what I've been saying and talking about here. The left's war and usage is this idea of I am going to create this hammer of labels and I'm going to hit you with it until you submit. And the problem is people get really scared of words and labels because they've been a problem and they've been what's been used throughout a lot of human history to do some pretty heinous shit. The problem also, though, tends to be is the people who apply those labels to themselves and use it as a hammer to beat you will then also apply labels to you to beat you further. Because they see that it works in that direction, so it's obviously going to work in the other direction, too. This is why labels suck as an idea. And why I would rather leave them to ideas of intellectual levels, such as idiot, and ignoramus, and emotionally impulsive, and label people with those such words, because then I am entering you on your terms of wisdom and intelligence, and not on anything else about you. And the beauty of those two things is that you can grow in those things. And they're not good labels of which to set someone up for execution, as can often be used with the other labels involved. And yeah, That's what I've been ranting and raving about in this one a lot, guys. You have to understand this concept. We can't be fleeing from the battleground like Tim is saying. We have to that people are going to flee this battleground. This is ground that we can win. You have to have the will to endure. You have to have the resolve to say, no, screw you, I will stand up, and I am willing to die for my beliefs. This nation wasn't founded by a bunch of submissive weaklings. This nation was founded on strength. And it is a strength we have gladly and stupidly thrown away because we think it's so much better not to have any form of resolve. And I'm just so bizarred by that. Just so weirded out by it.
Fire sometimes.
The
I feel like that's
Chicago
normal for New Yorkers.
Been there, done
Americans
that.
don't
San
care about
Francisco,
Chicago.
been there, done that.
He's not wrong. And again, the problem lays in what I just described. Stop fleeing. Start voting. Stop fleeing. Start voting.
Los Angeles, been there, done that. It's not changing.
The thing
well,
we're
there's
missing-
Seattle, Portland. Here's what's happening. People are fleeing these cities, the Pacific Northwest and the West. They're fleeing to Colorado and Arizona, and it's entrenching communist rule in these jurisdictions. The reason why we're shocked to find Portland police arresting Nick Sorter is because any police officer who opposed the leftists left a long time ago, and the cops who are there are happy to do these things. Mamdani is going to cause an exodus of moderate to right-leaning people if he wins, and then you're going to see his polls skyrocket. He's going to say, see, the people of New York like me even more now. No, it's because the people who hate you left. Then people outside are going to be like, yeah, that's why.
Tim's right, and that's the problem that inlays in us. Is we are acting like cowards and fools. Why are you allowing yourself to act like a coward and a fool? Why? Why do you choose to act like a foolish coward and a fool? Huh? Explain it to me. Give it to me. Come on.
We left, but it won't matter. It's geographic hyperpolarization, and no one in this country's voting patterns are changed. I'll put it this way. If the people who lean conservative flee to a conservative jurisdiction, it will not change the amount of congressional seats or federal power we have. The state, if they flee to West Virginia, guess what? West Virginia is still going to be 90% Republican. Nothing's going to change.
Yeah, that's the problem. Is our ideology is flee for some reason, not stand. Why are we taking a policy of flee, not stand? I'm so confused by that.
But it's going to make the blue state much, much bluer. And the amount of seats they have in Congress, it's not going to change for the next 5 years. So it's going to entrench far left lunatics that get into Congress. And then we're going to see that battle at the federal level. And it's going to escalate in the next few years, 2028. If Trump's not on the ballot, we are going to have communist blue states and anti-communist red states. And you can predict what comes next.
Yeah, well,
He's not wrong. I'm probably going to leave this video here because, yeah, this is kind of my question to everybody is, why are you choosing to flee and not stand? Where is your courage? Why do you choose to have none? Why are you choosing to have none? Seek God and go where you are called. And do so fearlessly. Because the only fear you need to have is in God. The only fear you should have is for God. No one here you should be afraid of on this earth. You need not fear anyone on this earth, because the people on this earth, they can kill you. That's the worst they can do. And you might be like, oh my God. Maybe it's because I'm a depressed, apathetic human being. Dying's not so bad. Burning in hell sounds pretty bad, though. Don't want to do that one. So, yeah. Read your Bible. Read some books. Do some reading. Do some learning. Do some growing. Don't just listen to some idiotic college professor. Read. Understand. Learn. You have a hands. You have a mind. You can toil, you can work, you can grow. You are not fruitless. Even when stripped of nothing, you can build something. Do you know the story of Tim Pool? Do you know Tim Pool's story? This guy was actually genuinely homeless a couple of times. This dude was full-blown homeless a couple of times. This guy went bumming. This guy's lived a life. This guy's had it tough. Look what this dude has built. Look at our president. Not our president, sorry. Our vice president. J.D. Vance. Look what he came from. Stop toiling in this fouling of your mind. Grow, develop, become strong. Know what it is and learn what it is to be a good man, and then seek that every day. It's what Charlie Kirk died doing. It's what I'm in the process of learning. And the more I learn about it, honestly, the more angry I get with the men of my generation. There's a time in the Army that sticks with me that I dealt with in my very, very short time there in basic training, when we were sitting aside and I was having a conversation. And this is just how devout I am when I am working for you, and how devout I am when I choose to pledge my name to you. This is true for anything that I pledge my name to, because I take that oath seriously. I take all pledges and oaths seriously because Jesus said to do that. As I listened to earlier today, let your yes mean yes and your no mean no. I take that very seriously as a person. And to get into this story, me and my company leading private is what I'll call him. Our student first, I guess, is a way to apply it. Is a accurate term. I forget what the term is in the military. And we get to have a moment of rest, and we get in a conversation, and I talk about when you join the Army, you join a part of what you should be thinking about when you join, and something I was really confused by everyone surrounding me talking about, is how they thought they weren't gonna fight. They thought they wouldn't ever have to bleed. And I was like, this is an army. This is a military force. You are a soldier first. You can and will be sent to bleed if you have to bleed. You don't get to make those decisions anymore. You signed it away. You signed your name to give up blood if needed. That is like the first absent basic duty of any standing military and anything like that. And we get into this conversation, I tell him that, and he's just like, it's great that you're so loyal and devout with this, man, but if a Muslim comes into my state of Wyoming and puts a gun to my head and says, praise Allah or die, I'ma kiss the ground and praise Allah. And I just looked at him so confused and so disturbed. Because how are you so foundationally weak and so submissively weak as a man that you have no values in which you would be willing to stand up and die for? And there are values out there that are worth doing that for. And it's important to seek and find them as a man and hold on to them. We, as a world, have forgotten what the word strength means, have forgotten what the word love means, have forgotten what the word kindness means, and have forgotten what the word compassion means. And we deeply, deeply need to relearn them. Or we are gonna watch our world become the most twisted, sickening thing on the planet. That's gonna be it for this video. I know it wasn't very focused on this content. I was kind of just using this content in the background and conversation in the background to kind of pull my own thoughts and ideas in conversation and try to start a conversation in this video, which I'd be happy to and love to have in the comment section. So with that, I'm going to say like, subscribe, comment, and God bless. Catch you guys in the next video.